You want to be able to leave the house without your rescue dog panicking so that you can both be relaxed, but in fact end up being home too much instead because you don't want to cause them more distress. So being home too much didn't cause your dog's separation anxiety. They just need to become more emotionally independent from you. And in this video, I'm going to explain why constant presence doesn't cause separation anxiety, but constant togetherness may. And I will also share 3 tips to start helping your dog feel safe when you're not there. So, separation anxiety has got to do with your dog having attached in such a way to you that they see you as their only source of safety. So, when you're there, they feel safe. When you're gone, they panic because they don't feel safe at all. Now, you can be around 24 hours a day, so that's being present without interacting with your dog all the time and without them having access to you all the time. And that's why I say constant presence doesn't necessarily lead to a separation anxiety, but constant togetherness does. So, what happens when you spend 24 hours a day at home and your dog never has a barrier separating them from you? This means that whenever they need to do a check-in with you, they can. Whenever they need to have access to you for reassurance, they do. They have access to you. And so this emotional dependence on you is constantly strengthened because they have no opportunity to actually become emotionally independent. Okay? So constant presence isn't bad. I mean, that's what happens when people work from home. You work at home, you sleep at home, you eat at home. But it's this constant togetherness, this constant, almost constant engagement, and your dog knowing that whenever they need reassurance, you're there, they can get to you. That is what isn't such a good thing for separation anxiety. So, next, I'm going to share 3 tips um, of things that you can do to help your dog feel safe. But it's very important that you implement them in the order that I'm going to mention them, okay? Because the one builds upon the previous one. So, one tip is to give your dog or to respect moments of independence. The other one is to close doors behind you as you moving around in the house. And the other one is to do a real departure, but to come back before panic is triggered. So now you can see from the way that I listed them, I hope it's clear from the way that I listed them that respecting moments of independence is the least challenging thing. Having you randomly close doors behind you is a bit more challenging, but not as much as a real departure, which is the 3rd tip. So let's start with moments of independence. What happens when we have a rescue dog that suffers from separation anxiety? On one hand, we worry that they've become a shadow dog and that they're clingy and that they follow us everywhere. So on one hand, we worry about that, or at least may feel uncomfortable by that behavior. But on the other hand, we find it weird when our dog suddenly disappears to go and do their own thing. And so we end up calling them or checking in on them. So whenever your dog takes the initiative to go and do something else, to go take a nap in another room, to go look out the window, to go play with a toy somewhere else, to lie on the far end of the sofa instead of lying down, right, like leaning on you, snuggling up to you. Whenever they take the initiative to do these things, these are what you can call moments of emotional independence. They're not being needy. They're not doing any check-in. They're not asking you for reassurance. And so it's very important to respect those moments. In other words, if your dog disappears because he's gone to do something on his own, don't go and see what he's up to. Don't call them over. Just let them be. Now, if you're worried that they might be destroying something or doing something that may endanger them, then just close all the doors to the other rooms so that they can't go very far. The next thing, so this is the first tip, and start by doing this, okay? Then the next thing you can do is not necessarily make a rule of it, but randomly close doors behind you. So let's say you're working in the office, in your home office, and you decide to go to the kitchen to make a cup of tea. So as you walk into the kitchen, just say bye to your dog and close the door behind you. Now you decide to go and take a shower, for example, say bye to your dog and close the door behind you. You have to go make the bed, so walk into the bedroom, say bye and close the door behind you. So this way, you are creating barriers that separate your dog from you. And this is a way of avoiding too much togetherness. Now, you may say, okay, but my dog separation anxiety is really severe. If that's the case, then what you can do is decide that if you're just going to wash your hands, you can say bye and close the bathroom door behind you. But if you're going to take a shower, maybe leave it open. The same applies to to the bedroom. You know, if you're just going to hang a coat, you can say bye to your dog and close the door behind you. But if you're going to change the bed sheets and make the bed, which is something that's going to take longer, then don't close the door. Same thing with the kitchen. If you're going to cook, then leave the door open, because that if you had to close the door, that would mean that you would be separated, or your dog would be separated from you for much longer than they can handle. And the idea behind helping them is to actually not add any more distress. Then the third tip is to practice real departures, like really leave the house. But you've got to be very careful with the way you do this. So, and this is the last tip. So this is something that you're going to work on after you've been working on moments of independence and after you've been working on closing doors behind you. Because that means that if your dog doesn't panic when you close doors behind you, they are much less likely to become totally out of control when you actually do a real departure. So the important thing about doing a real departure is to come back before your dog panics. Even if it means opening the door, going out, closing the door, and coming right in again. Okay, even if you just stay outside for 1 or 2 seconds, it doesn't matter. The important thing here is to always come back before your dog starts panicking. And if you have to start with 5-second departures, that's okay, because before you move on to more challenging or to the more challenging part of your behavior modification program, it's important to establish a foundation first. And just remember, we never, ever, ever want to do anything that is going to cause more anxiety or add more stress to your dog. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, just go down to the description where you can watch a free training video that explains more about anxiety, symptoms, common symptoms of anxiety, and what you can do to start helping your dog right away. Take care.